Hello, everyone. I'm Tyler Crow. I work on the product team for Firebase, Google's app development platform. Our mission is to help developers succeed by making it easy to build and grow apps and games users love. Apps make our lives better. They keep us informed, connected, entertained, and they make it simple to do just about everything, from ordering food to learning new skills. But app development can be complex and cumbersome, often requiring you to jump between multiple products to accomplish a wide range of tasks, from building core app functionality to deploying and monitoring an app release, and then keeping users happy. Firebase brings together Google technology and cloud services across your journey under one platform. Over 3 million developers from startups to enterprises use Firebase to reach and engage billions of users. Your trust is what motivates us to keep making Firebase a more comprehensive, powerful platform that suits your needs. This year at Google I/O, we're excited to show you how we're strengthening Firebase's integration with Google's most popular developer products and making our platform work better with the open ecosystem of tools so you can accelerate app development and run your app with confidence. Our goal is to give you a seamless and secure development experience that lets you focus on making your app the best it can be for your users and your business. Let's get started. Turning your idea into an app is a lot more complicated than it sounds. Before you can start building features, you'll need to set up your backend, and you'll probably need to integrate services from a few third-party tools as well. This involves learning new APIs, writing code, and figuring out how to make everything work together smoothly. Firebase helps you get your app up and running quickly by providing fully managed infrastructure. We also offer solutions like Firebase Extensions that make it easy to integrate and extend functionality from third-party services much faster. To tell you more about extensions, I'm going to pass it over to Kara.
Thanks, Tyler. When you're building your app, you often need to stitch together many different third-party APIs and services. That's a ton of time spent on integration and a lot of overhead for you to manage. We introduce Firebase Extensions, which are prepackaged bundles of code to help you get your app up and running quickly. Extensions make it easy to integrate functionality from third-party services. They also help you stay up to date on these integrations without requiring you to do any additional work. Now, as your app grows from a handful of users to millions, sometimes you need to build custom logic to handle more complex situations. While extensions let you add core functionality with minimal code, they historically haven't been super extensible, or giving you the ability to build on top of them. Today, we're excited to introduce Extensions Events. Events allow you to plug into the runtime of the extension and extend its functionality with your own code. This way, the extension becomes a baseline for your integration, but you can still build on top of it to make it your own. This means you can use extensions and still support your custom use cases and business workflows, no matter how complex. Let me show you. Using extensions, I built Kara's Coffee, an online e-commerce website where I can sell my favorite coffee-related goods so others can enjoy them too. Like any e-commerce site, I needed to add key business functionality like marketing campaigns, a checkout flow, a way to process payments, and a method to ship and track product orders. Implementing all of this could take weeks or even months of development time. Thankfully, I was able to use over 15 e-commerce extensions to cut that time to a fraction. But despite the great progress I made with these extensions, there were some limitations to what I could do with Kara's Coffee. For example, I could process payments and sync customer subscription status automatically using the Stripe extension. But as a small business, I really wanted to handle customer cancellations my own way. When a customer cancels their subscription, I don't want to just stop shipping them coffee. I want to immediately send them an email with a photo of my puppy to try to win their business back. Because who can say no to Frida's adorable face? Without the ability to do this, I'd be losing customers unnecessarily with no chance to retain them. No small business owner wants that. Let's take a look at how I can set this up. Here I am updating the Run Payments with Stripe extension. There's a new section at the bottom where I can select the events I'm interested in. You'll notice that here I have many events I can choose from, but I'll choose the event most important to me, which is a customer subscription deleted event. Once updated, I can take a look at the details page for the extension and see the channel that's been automatically set up for me. Now to send the picture of Frida. I write a Cloud function that triggers upon a custom event. I set the custom event to be customer subscription deleted and write the code for sending an email immediately. Now let's see what this looks like to my customer. Let's say a customer cancels their coffee subscription. I can see their account has been updated in both Cloud Firestore and Stripe. And here's the email with Frida. With extensions events, I can customize extensions to fit my specific use case. Events are launching in the Stripe, Resize Images, and RevenueCat extensions today. We're also excited to announce the release of new third-party extensions for marketing, search, and payment processing. For example, Snap is launching 2 extensions, which allow your users to recommend your products to their friends through logging in with Snap and sharing to their Snap story. With new Stream extensions, you can easily implement chat in your app so you can respond to your users in real time. TypeSense is an open-source option for Firestore indexing and search. And RevenueCat unlocks payment processing for in-app subscriptions so you can easily sell your digital goods on the app or Play Store. With these new extensions, you can add marketing, search, and more payment processing features to your app in just a few steps. You can install all these new extensions today by going to the Firebase website or visiting the extensions page on the Firebase console. Finally, we want to make sure you're comfortable with how an extension works before you bring it into your live app. That's why I'm also happy to announce that all the extensions I just showed you are available as part of an emulator suite. This way, you can test new extensions in a safe local environment, better understand their capabilities, and make adjustments without interfering with production data. And that wraps it up. Back to you, Tyler.
Thanks, Kara. By introducing events, adding emulator support, and releasing new extensions for marketing and payment processing with more partners, we're making Firebase work better with the tools and services in the open ecosystem, so you can add features and functionality to your app faster. Once your app is built, it's time to deploy it. Usually, this is another slow and complicated process, especially for web developers, because it requires some manual orchestration between various clients and backend services. We wanted to improve this process and strengthen the integration between Firebase and your favorite web frameworks. You won't believe how fast you can deploy now. To show you, I'm going to welcome Karupa.
Thanks, Tyler. Hi, everyone. Modern web frameworks like React, Angular, Vue, Next.js, Nuxt, and more are great because they allow you to easily build the types of performant, scalable, and visually compelling web apps that people love. Behind the scenes, the frameworks pull this off by abstracting away the many messy details on client-side and server-side technologies, leaving you able to focus on just HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. But deploying such apps on Firebase requires some work on your part. We heard loud and clear from many of you that this experience needed to be better and simpler. So, to save you time and headache, we made it possible to deploy modern web apps with a single command, Firebase deploy. That's it. We take care of everything else for you. Let me show you. What I'm showing you here is a Next.js app created using Create Next App. This is a multi-page app that renders some content on the client and some content on demand by the server. As we can see, the app works beautifully locally. Let's go ahead and see how it works live on a server. What I'm going to do is deploy this app to a preview channel to give my team a chance to do one final validation before pushing this live to production. I push my changes to the preview channel. In a few moments, our site is live for testing. Things look pretty good, so let's go ahead and push it live to prod. Now, our site is live on a custom domain I have already configured through Firebase Hosting. Our global CDN and default SSL support ensures our content gets served worldwide as quickly as possible. Our goal here is simple. We want you to spend more time building a great UX for your web app and spend less time fiddling with the backend details. When you deploy your web app using Firebase, you get the full power of a global and fast CDN, great security out of the box, the performance and flexibility of Google Cloud, and the classic Firebase ease of use that defines our platform. We're starting with our developer preview for the modern web frameworks Next.js and Angular Universal, with more frameworks to follow in the future. To try this out now, download the latest Firebase CLI And try running Firebase Deploy with your web app built using Next.js or Angular Universal. Back to you, Tyler.
Thanks, Karupa. Dynamic hosting support means Firebase works better with your favorite web frameworks, so you can orchestrate deployment of your modern web app stack with a single command. Another tedious part of app development is ensuring your app works across platforms and devices. People expect a fast and stable experience as they move from their mobile device to the web to their smart TV. Over the past few years, a rapidly growing community of developers, like you, has been using Flutter to create beautiful, natively compiled, multi-platform apps from a single codebase. Flutter and Firebase together give you the tools you need to accelerate app development across platforms. We're pleased to announce that all of the Firebase plugins for Flutter have moved to general availability, and we've added official Flutter documentation, snippets, and customer support, ensuring you have the resources you need to confidently use Firebase and Flutter together. Now, a particularly tricky element of cross-platform development is managing all of the crashes and stability issues that are sure to pop up. Well, we've made 3 big updates to improve Crashlytics support for Flutter apps so you can track, monitor, and fix stability issues faster. First, we heard your feedback that Crashlytics is difficult to set up in a Flutter app. So we've drastically reduced the number of steps it takes to get started. And you no longer need to open any platform-specific IDEs. Now, to set up Crashlytics in your Flutter app, all you need to do is add the Crashlytics plugin and initialize it in your Dart code. And that's it. It only takes 2 steps, and then Crashlytics will start capturing and reporting your crashes. Previously, certain Crashlytics features were only available for natively built iOS and Android apps, like our crash-free user metrics and velocity alerts. So if you were a Flutter developer, it was hard to get a clear picture of your app's stability. Now, it's possible to log fatal errors in a Flutter app and send them to Crashlytics in real time. This means Crashlytics can notify you when critical issues arise so you can quickly resolve them before they impact a large number of users. Lastly, we revamped our back-end crash analyzer so it groups Flutter crashes more intuitively by common underlying characteristics. This will help your team better understand the types of crashes affecting your app and prioritize which ones to fix first. You could take advantage of these updates by adding the latest version of the Crashlytics for Flutter plugin to your app. And you can visit our updated documentation on using Crashlytics with Flutter to learn how today. Now, you can use Firebase more seamlessly with Flutter to build high-quality apps that reach users across platforms with the least amount of hassle and code. We've also got exciting news for Apple developers. We know many of you love building your apps using the Swift programming language because it's safe by design, easy to learn, and extremely powerful. And we know that Swift UI is the modern way of building apps across Apple devices. However, the Firebase Apple SDKs were mostly written in Objective-C for compatibility reasons, and we had relied on the generated Swift bindings to create our API surface. As a result, we weren't taking advantage of some of the powerful Swift language features like Codable or adding APIs that integrate with Swift UI views. We're excited to share that we're updating Firebase to fully embrace the modern Swift language. Now, if you're an Apple developer, you can easily use the latest Swift features along with Firebase. For example, you can use Codable in Firestore, Real-Time Database, or Remote Config to take advantage of type safety and delete all of your code that manually parses dictionaries. Or use Firebase's async await APIs to flatten those error-prone, nested callback blocks, like in this example that replaces 20 lines of code with only 4 lines. If you're using Swift UI, you can use our custom view modifier to identify views for analytics or easily bind your views to data in Firestore with live updates using the Firestore query property wrapper. Thanks to some great community contributions, we've already begun rolling out better Swift support in the Firebase 8 SDK releases, and we'll continue to broaden the support with Firebase 9 SDK releases throughout the rest of the year. To take advantage of these great new APIs, check out our GitHub repo for instructions on how to install the libraries you'll need to include in your project. These libraries have now exited beta and are generally available for use in your products. All right, so far we've talked about how Firebase can help you add functionality and deploy web apps with minimal code through extensions and dynamic hosting. We've also covered how enhanced support for Flutter and Swift will make it easy to deliver a great experience across multiple platforms and devices. But what good is rapid development and deployment if your app isn't secure? When you're building an app, you'll need to connect it to various APIs to get all of the services you need, which can come with some risk. Billing fraud, phishing, app impersonation, and data theft and poisoning are all risks you shouldn't have to worry about. We want to help you safeguard your data, protect your users, and control who has access to your resources and infrastructure. That's where AppCheck comes in. AppCheck protects your APIs by attesting that incoming traffic is coming from your app on a legitimate device. Using the combination of app identity and device integrity, you can rest easy knowing your app is the only one talking to your APIs. You can use these AppCheck protections with Firebase, Cloud, and even API endpoints on your own custom servers. We're thrilled to announce that AppCheck now integrates with the Play Integrity API, which is a new app attestation provider for Android. Play Integrity API is the latest and most advanced app attestation for Android devices that enable you to take advantage of more anti-abuse signals. Additionally, we're pleased to announce that AppCheck has graduated from beta to general availability and is certified under major compliance and security standards. Check out the AppCheck overview in our Firebase documentation to learn more and get started securing your API resources today. Now that AppCheck has graduated to general availability, you can have even more assurance that not only will Firebase accelerate your app development, we will also help you keep your app and data secure right from the start. And we'll continue to strengthen our app security between Firebase and other Google products and APIs in the future. Let's talk about how Firebase can help you run your app with confidence. Once your app is built, it's important to ensure it's working as designed. With Firebase, you can validate your app through performance testing, collect feedback, and get insight into how you can resolve quality issues to deliver the best possible experience. The best time to start testing your app is before you release it to the public. You don't want your users to find bugs that you missed and leave negative reviews, like on your Google Play Store listing, as soon as you launch your app. Firebase App Distribution helps you distribute pre-release versions of your app to trusted testers, so you can get valuable feedback before launch. Today, we're excited to announce that Firebase App Distribution has graduated from beta into general availability. To get here, we worked hard to simplify your beta testing workflow and give you the power to customize it to suit your needs. We heard from you that it's tedious to manage testers and releases, so we've introduced powerful features like simplified group access, release auto-deletion, and bulk tester management in both the console and our new public API, so you can focus on getting your builds to testers quickly. And speaking of your testers, isn't it frustrating to get a tester bug report for an old test version of your app? You spend a bunch of time investigating the bug, only to realize that the bug was already fixed. That's why within our new Android SDK, you can notify testers that a new version is available directly inside the app. This means your testers can stay up to date on your latest release and give you feedback on the version you care about the most. Along with our iOS SDK, this completes our SDK offering for both platforms. To start collecting valuable pre-release feedback on your apps, check out our Firebase App Distribution documentation. App Distribution will help you test your app and get feedback before launch. But it's just as important to make sure your app is still running great every day after that. That's where Firebase Performance Monitoring comes in. Firebase Performance Monitoring helps you collect and organize your app's performance metrics, so you can see performance trends and identify opportunities to improve the app experience from your user's point of view. This is important because no matter how thoroughly you test your app on your local machine, your users will access it on different devices in different countries and on different networks. This means your app may still run into latency issues once it's out in the world. And having issues is bad, but not knowing about them is even worse. That's why we're excited to announce that performance monitoring alerts have graduated from beta into general availability. Performance alerts will send you an email when performance metrics cross a specific threshold. Now you can investigate and fix latency and speed issues as soon as they appear. In beta, we launched alerts for app start time, but now you can also create alerts for custom code traces, network requests, screen renderings, or web traces for the most critical parts of your app. Alerts are customizable too. You can set your own thresholds so you get more signal and less noise. With performance alerts, you can release your app with confidence, knowing that now, when your users are experiencing issues, you'll be the first to know. To get started, check out the instructions on setting up your own alerts in our performance monitoring docs. Another major component of an app's experience is its stability. Few people want to use a slow app, but even less want to use an app that constantly crashes. As we mentioned earlier, Firebase Crashlytics gives you a complete view into your app's stability, helping you track, prioritize, and fix critical crashes before they impact a large number of users. However, even with detailed and real-time crash reports, troubleshooting usually requires you to jump between the Crashlytics console and your codebase to locate the error. Well, we've got good news. We're streamlining this workflow and giving you more filtering capabilities with new integrations between Crashlytics and Android. To tell you more, I'd like to welcome Adarsh.
Thanks, Tyler. The global Android ecosystem is rich in its diversity of device shapes, sizes, experiences, and OEMs. And while this diversity is a big part of what makes Android great, it can also be a challenge for developers who want to deliver an amazing app experience to their users, no matter what Android device they use. That's why Android developers all across the world rely on Firebase Crashlytics to surface detailed insights and context into the events leading to a crash. But often, when you need to reproduce, debug, and resolve those issues, you jump into your IDE, like Android Studio. Looking at stack traces in a browser and then having to navigate through your source code to find the right place to set your breakpoints can be frustrating. And it's easy to miss new reports if you're not regularly checking the Firebase console. That's why we're excited to share the Android Studio's new App Quality Insights window, which helps you discover, investigate, and reproduce issues reported by Crashlytics all in one place and within the context of your local Android Studio project. Let me show you. Imagine I've just released a new version of my app to production and want to see how it's performing. I just open the project and navigate to the App Quality Insights window in Android Studio. The IDE then downloads the latest crash data for my app, sorted by those that occur more frequently and affect the most users. While I'm interested in these top issues, I want to focus on the version of the app we just released to production. I can filter for just those issues by selecting that version from the app version dropdown. These other settings look good, so I'll leave them as is. I see that there's a new issue that's affecting a number of users. Given the location of this issue, it could be affecting our new onboarding flow, potentially driving users away before they even get started. When I select the crash, I can see the stack trace right in the IDE. And because Android Studio has access to my source code, I can navigate directly to the lines of code that may be causing the crash. Okay, now I want to try to reproduce the issue locally. So I want to use a similar device configuration as users encountering this issue. In the Details panel, I see that this is mostly affecting devices running Android 11. So I'll just set my breakpoint in the code and deploy to a similar device I have around. And if I need to see even more information, such as custom logs or tags, I can see the full issue report in the Firebase console with just a single click. Now, we don't expect you to constantly check this window. As you're building features and working in the code editor, we'll help you identify potential issues by highlighting lines of code that have appeared in crash reports, so you can investigate and fix issues along the way. The App Quality Insights window is the first important step on our journey to bring the Firebase experience directly into the hands of Android Studio users. When we gave a sneak peek to our friends at Adobe, they felt that this is a must-have integration that directly solves the headaches of navigating from crash to code. And we can't wait for you to try out this feature today and provide feedback by heading to this link to download the latest Canary version of Android Studio Electric Eel. But that's not the only integration with Crashlytics we're excited to talk to you about. Google Play is more than just an app store. The Play console provides tools for various stages of your app rollout. For example, it gives you the power to set up and manage your release through different stages, called tracks. If you're using Crashlytics with your app on the Play Store, it's difficult to distinguish which crash events are from internal testing versus open beta versus in production. Now, you can simply filter Crashlytics reports based on play tracks. Let's take a look. Say I'm getting ready to promote my app from open beta to production. I want to prioritize issues that beta users have reported so users in production don't run into them. Previously, to find only the issues my beta testers are seeing, I had to select app versions from a very long list to accurately match versions in the open test track. Now, I can just select the play track I care about. We'll go ahead and select the open beta test track, and voila. We see there are a number of issues my team should look into before promoting to production. This filter is available today in the Firebase console. Go to the Crashlytics dashboard to get started. Now, back to Tyler.
Thanks, Adarsh. Throughout Google I/O, you can earn developer profile badges as you learn more about our latest technology, including Play release tracks and Crashlytics. You've earned your first badge by watching this session on the I/O website. A second can be earned by reading the feature documentation, and a third for linking your Firebase and Play accounts in the Firebase console. You'll need to be signed in and registered for I/O to earn each badge, and you can learn more by visiting g.co/learn-to-earn. As you just saw, we're taking important steps to integrate Crashlytics with Android and Play to give you a more streamlined troubleshooting workflow. Now, Crashlytics will provide context and insight into your crashes right in Android Studio, so you can easily locate errors and resolve issues while you code. And when you link Crashlytics to your Play account, you can filter crashes based on play tracks, so you can make more informed decisions on what to tackle first. Throughout this session, we shared the many ways we're making Firebase work better with both Google developer products and the broader ecosystem of third-party tools, so you can accelerate app development and run your app with confidence. We want to give you a seamless and secure end-to-end development experience that provides the fastest path to success. No matter what stage you're at, we're here to take care of the hard part of app development so you can focus on making your app the best it can be. Thank you for joining us, and be sure to check out the other Firebase technical sessions we have lined up at Google I/O.